Unfortunately, as I work in the care sector, our holiday was cancelled. So I ended up working more hours rather than less, but never mind. Just going to cover the brakes as I go across the roundabout. I'm not one of these camera cyclists who shout at cars. I pay attention and am prepared to stop if someone either intentionally ignores the fact I'm there or genuinely doesn't see me. And as I was always explained, this is part of what I'm trying to promote, is safe and sensible reactions to poor and dangerous driving. Of course, one of the upsides of the coronavirus is there's a lot less traffic on the roads at the moment. There's a lot less pollution. I see so many more people walking and cycling, which hopefully is a very, very good thing. I even spoke to someone the other day who had slow down. Right. So as you can see there, the car overtaking me started overtaking towards the other cyclist. I slowed down and pulled over just to make sure there was enough room. They shouldn't have overtook, and the guy approaching had a nice bright top. And when I review the footage, it will be interesting to see how far ahead that cyclist was, because one of the things you always have to remember is whilst we see the cyclist from the point of view from my camera, or from my point of view, from the cyclist's point of view, we don't see the driver's point of view from further back. And yes, that was a poor overtake, and I certainly don't want to be making excuses for the driver, but there's that having the understanding of how and why people make errors. Realistically, they should have seen it. Once they realised, they should have pulled out of the overtake, but they didn't. Which is why I braked and slowed down as they passed, to ensure they had more time to pull over past me, less time driving towards the other cyclist, which they shouldn't have done. So anyway, as I was saying, on the upside of the coronavirus, there's, as we can see, a lot more people out cycling, people out running, as we just passed someone, more people walking. It would be interesting to see how well people would be faring if we hadn't had such nice weather recently, as we approach a couple more people walking. Now realistically, those people there should be walking towards traffic so that they can see whether the approaching vehicle has seen them. And as you can see, I made sure I give them plenty of space. I've got to say, it is quite amazing the difference of the amount of people out. So what else has been happening recently? Well, YouTube's pretty dead at the moment for cycling videos, I've noticed. As we see someone else cycling. I really don't usually see many people along here. It's very unusual. Yeah, so YouTube's been pretty dead. Silvio, bless him, seems to have stopped making videos. As it was my birthday yesterday, as I explained, it's a relatively quiet day, apart from I spent it with my wife and family. The highlight of my morning, after having a few birthday cards and what have you, was to actually get my car MOT'd. So yeah, that was the one joy really. Fortunately, went through with one minor advisory, so it's not bad because it's been set up for since January. I was about to take off the road in November, and it was so mild I ended up running it through to December. So it was nice to get my summer car back on the road as a birthday treat. Although, ironically, my summer car is pretty much the same as my winter car, as in it's a Mark IV Astra convertible. Only difference is someone's a little bit more powerful, a little bit better condition, lower mileage, and just a little bit more enjoyable to drive than my 2.2. So yeah, so that was my birthday treat, getting my nice car back on the road. My treat today is getting out for a bike ride. Actually, talking of bike rides, bizarrely, I think it was video by Retro Dude, and well, it's weird, I think he was saying on one of his videos that you could go out for exercise as many times a day as you want and for however long you wanted, which, in fairness, it's not my interpretation of the rules, but personally I'm sticking to the one form of exercise for an hour. I mean, it's following advice and pushing the boundaries of that advice. Obviously, the more we are indoors at home, the less we're in a position where we could either transmit the coronavirus, or are we in the position where we can catch the coronavirus. It's so bizarre the amount of people who I see walking now. So bizarre. Hopefully we will see a change in people's attitudes. Hopefully maybe people might become less materialistic because of the coronavirus. Maybe people might consider looking after their own health a bit more following the coronavirus. It'd be nice if that was the case. Or if you compare this video to one of my other videos where I cycle in and out to the shops in Wales, and you review like this section I've just done, you probably wouldn't see one other person doing any forms of exercise. But today, wow, so many people. So yeah, hopefully the upside will be people will take more interest in the countryside, in their own health. I do hope it doesn't continue for too much longer. Hopefully some of the clinical trials will be able to come up with a vaccine. Before I come out, it was quite interesting where they were talking about how you could track people using their phones and potential ramifications of data protection. Personally, I don't think it's such a bad thing that there's data there that could be used for good. Well, if this was always the case, people were trackable by their phones, might be able to detect crime more readily Well, put my hand up to say don't overtake, but they overtook anyway, because there was a car coming. Guess if I wanted to get more subscribers, I just need to start shouting at motorists. Tagging more people, must get in front. But the way I see it is people do some silly things, and none of us are perfect, and when they do, my best course of action is to react sensibly and safely, as not to escalate any situation. We've got cameras on my bike, and not for the purpose of going, look, there's a motorist done something silly. Not because so I can do that. It's more about how to react safely and sensibly. This guy's being sensible. Indicate right, move over, staying back decent distance, just quick shoulder check, happy days. Of course, I'm sure I'll get the victim blaming bandwagon, but I don't see it as myself as a victim. I also don't see that I need to stand up for my rights to be on the road, because I know I've got rights to be on the road. I have every right to use my bike as I do my car. And when I'm driving, I use hazard perception to keep myself safe, avoiding incidents where I can. And it's no different when I'm riding a bike. I avoid incidents. I give way, I share the road. I'm courteous to other road users. I'm also polite. Say thank you. So conscious of the van parked up, brake lights on, vehicles come towards me, I get a nice wide space. And again, it goes back to, yes, it's the responsibility of the driver to look, but having seen the van stopped, I'd have been an idiot to ignore it. Oh, bit of broken glass. Oh, I continue to have tickly cough, which is annoying because you become paranoid. Let this car go first. There's probably enough room to squeeze past, but why risk it? And a bit rude. Oh. I'm starting to slowly getting the hang of the new editing software, Olive, which I'm using, which is open source video software editing, free to use. I managed to do a couple of picture-in-picture videos. This one will be the same. Really pleased with the outcome. That's the quality of the videos I get from my Verb exported. It's pretty amazing. Strange how you seem to lose the quality once they're uploaded to YouTube, but I think that's more to do with streaming speed. But yeah, so far so good with the editing software. It's nice to add more perspective, and I'm sure when I upload video from today, earlier on, you would have seen on this video the car overtaking me towards a cyclist, which with a picture-in-picture has more perspective as to where everybody is. The downside is where my cameras are positioned, it doesn't actually show much of what I'm actually doing myself, but hopefully narrating as I'm riding gives that real-term understanding of where we are in the videos. And hopefully the narrating while I'm riding also helps show how, by using a mirror, I'm more aware of what's approaching from the behind, and also the narrating shows, hopefully I can give my thought process as I approach hazards. Certainly identifying a hazard, ignoring one, it's not the answer. It's just safe and sensible cycling. Certainly not taking your hands off the handlebar to hit a car. It's not sensible, safe and sensible cycling. In fact, thinking about, I'm sure I've seen a Cycle Gaz video recently where he got slightly cut up, began shouting at the driver, escalating the situation, hitting the driver's car, further escalating the situation. I mean, that's really bad cycling. If I was to let myself get wound up like that, I don't think I should be on the road. Now, $1 million question. Is this for the cameras, or is it just how Cycle Gaz is as a person? I'd like to think people who watch my videos and see how I calmly talk through what's happening, calmly react, shows that it's quite easy to do. Stay calm and react calmly. Again, part of that ability to stay calm is the fact I'm constantly paying attention to what's happening, consciously looking ahead and behind for hazards, and again, one of the things I think a lot of people don't do is actually follow the advice of the highway code to avoid potential hazards. One of the most powerful parts of the highway code is the part that says always avoid an incident if you can do so. Pretty much common sense as a driver, even more so as a vulnerable road user when you're cycling. Lycra's not armour, it doesn't really protect you from hitting a car, pedestrian, another cyclist, falling off, hitting the road. It doesn't give much protection. And that's another reason why, whilst they're pretty boring, I generally upload all my footage of my rides when it's recorded okay, just to show that I'm not picking and choosing what I'm uploading. I'm uploading my ride, 10 hours ride, whatever it is I'm riding. So I'm not editing out me jumping lights, anything like that. Fun enough, even though I said there's not many videos on YouTube. There was one the other day, the cyclist was complaining about what the driver did, beeped at them, I believe. In the video it shows them jumping 2 red lights themselves, and crazy, isn't it? I'll jump the red lights, but if you beep at me, you're the bad boy. Yeah. Oh, the psychology of the human being, eh? It's alright for me to do things illegally, but you can't. Hands up when I cycle, and if I hit a road junction which is controlled by traffic lights, if after waiting there it becomes apparent that the phase is not being activated by myself as a cyclist, in that instance I will treat it as broken and jump the lights, because effectively if it's not detecting me, then it is not working, isn't it? So whilst it will work for larger vehicles, it's not working for cyclists, then you've got to make that decision to either get off and push across the junction, or cycle across. Fortunately, there's only one set of lights I use where this happens regularly, and if I'm waiting to turn right and the lane left to me is on green and I'm on red, the only other green light is the phase opposite that allows cars coming up, so it's possible to safely pull away knowing I can see several hundred yards down the road. Should really report it to the council, I guess. It's like any road, it's easy when you know the road, but not so easy when you don't. Oh, excuse me. Oh, I think I feel tired today. Usually going for a bike ride, I actually feel very awake and alive, but today I feel quite tired and lethargic. Hope it's not turning 50. Oh dear, dear, oh dear, oh dear. Oh, I am tired. Well, one of the interesting things I was going to discuss today was my car MOT'd. As I'm a key worker, I'm allowed to get my car MOT'd. But there is currently exemption, a 6-month exemption, that if your car MOT run out at a certain point, you can extend it for another 6 months. That kind of begs the question: how much difference does an MOT make to a car's safety? Obviously, it ensures that every year cars are inspected, checked for defaults. But I guess a week after driving out with an MOT sensor, you could have a defect. So it's interesting how letting an MOT lapse for 6 months is seen as less risky than potential spreading the coronavirus. Interesting debate, I think. Unfortunately, as I said, straight through on mine again, did last year, and so yeah, another 12 months motoring. And what's good is I'll try and use this car April, May, June, July, August, September, maybe even October, then swap over November, December, January, February, March, my other car. So it means next year be able to get the car out of storage and then get out on the 1st of April. Can then got a whole month or 24 days to my birthday to get my car MOT'd. Always handy, and in fairness, I will probably run this car a little bit later in the year for the MOT on my other car, so that I can do the same. I've got a month either way. That way I can keep mileage down on both cars and save a nicer one for the summer. That said, I might well still end up selling my older one at some point. It's quite handy having a spare car about. Never know when you might need it. Given the cars are heading towards 20 years old, my older one being a 2001, so next year that will be 20 years old, and my new one 2003, so 17 years old. I guess give another 5-10 years, potentially escalating value, so more collectible if other ones going off the road. Obviously hard to say. I guess it's all going to depend on how well I can look after them both, especially when I haven't actually got a garage. Just keep them in a carport or under a cover. I know I've done the same with Mark 1 Astra GT when I sold it. 26 years ago. Fair enough, I do regularly have dreams about my old car and how suddenly realised I didn't sell it and it was in a barn somewhere. Oh, I think I'm starting to feel a little bit better. It's nice. Ah. There we go, first ride as a 50 road, pretty much over. Van's been a bit naughty creeping out, but never mind.